Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Safari Pedals Show. I'm your host, Abby. If this is your first time here, welcome to the Crazy Wild Safari Pedals podcast zoo thing bandwagon. It's great to have y'all here. I'm really stoked for today's episode. Avishai is going to be on the show. He is an incredible drummer and he has done some really cool gigs with some amazing artists. We're going to be diving into his musical journey as well as his approach to playing, kits, miking, and all the stuff in between. And also his take on using Safari pedals in his drum mixes. Let's cut to the episode thing. So guys, please give a very warm welcome to Avishai. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you on. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Before we get to all the good stuff, let's start with who you are, what you do, and we'll take it from there.
I'm a drummer, producer, musician, living in New York. I'm in Italy now. I just showed you, but I'll show again. I'm on a mountain. I'm actually on vacation, which is really nice. I haven't done vacation in a long time.
Sweet. Good stuff. Vacation is very important. So
it is.
Very much needed. I'd love to go back a little bit, like to the beginning of your music journey. Like what got you into the world of music and like drums in particular? How did that whole thing happen?
Well, I think it started very organically. As like a very young kid, I just got, I don't have any musicians in the family or anything. So I just started with like a toy drum when I was 2. And that grew to like, started to take drum lessons when I was 7 or 8. And then finally convinced my parents to get me a drum set. And I started really playing when I was like 10 and really just never stopped. Already started playing gigs when I was 12 or 13 around town. And
at what point in your journey were you like, oh, like shit, like this is a career, this is a job, but then how did like you get into it professionally and like, because your career, you've done some really sick gigs, so how did that all kind of come together?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know if there was any point of decision, but it was more so like maybe into my 20s when I moved to New York already. And I was playing around, I just looked around and I was like, whoa, like I'm doing this. But I think as musicians also, you always like reassess and reinvent yourself all the time. It's like this very, it's so chaotic that it keeps going like that. I just more so found myself doing it. And still to this day, when I work and get paid for music, I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not supposed to get paid for this. I would do this for free.
So with all of that, like, what was your process like? Because I feel like when it comes to other instruments, like guitarists or producers, we talk a lot about like, oh, like she has her sound, he has his sound. So what was your kind of like journey in that? Did you have any particular drum influences or things that kind of shaped how you play and how you approach playing?
I think what ended up developing my sound is just taking from many, many different, very different drummers. Like I started playing like rock and roll, like Bonham. My dad loved Zeppelin, so that's the first band I've ever heard. And Bonham was like in my veins when I was a kid. And then starting to play kind of punk rock when I was really young around Tel Aviv. And then when I was 17, discovering jazz, but diving head first and completely abandoning rock and roll and just playing jazz for like 4 years, like learning all the greats from Elvin to Tony Williams to Max Roach, Art Blakey. And then discovering, or kind of at the same time, but discovering hip hop. So then like, I don't know, Chris Dave and Questlove. So the result is just the soup of all of that.
How was it for you, like dropping rock and roll and like punk rock for jazz? Like, was it hard to get into like the jazz brain and improvisation?
It was very hard, very hard. I remember going to like jam sessions and really like I wish I had videos of that now because it was so embarrassing. I was like the rock guy, like trying to sit in on this swing session and just like going like, like really hitting the ride. And but then it took a bit of time. It took like a year or two maybe to figure out the sound.
Sick. So kind of going into like your actual current setup, I'd love to dive into that like whole world when it comes to your approach to either like recording, if you record your own drums, or maybe when you go out and record, if you have like a certain way you like things to sound in terms of maybe mics or particular kits. Like what's your approach to dialing in the sound you like and all of that?
I don't really have a process, to be honest. I'm very like kind of all over the place. It really depends on the project. I can work in so many different studios, so many different settings. And I'm like the opposite of a gear nerd. Like I will kind of play on anything. And you can make anything sound good. So I've recorded on like 3 mics, or I recorded in the best studios in the world. So I really believe, especially in like this Instagram age, you can do a lot with a little. Like you can have one overhead and kick and snare mics and do magic with it.
And when it comes to, let's say, when you're on the road, do you like, I'm not really sure like how it works. Do you like choose the kit that you bring? Like, do you kind of choose how things are set up in terms of like micings? Like, what do you have maybe like a different process to that that's more tailored for kind of a live setting, or it's also whatever is?
Yeah, for miking, I don't really get into that. That's more like front of house takes care of that. And that also depends on the gig. But like now on the Charlie Puth gig, I'm playing, I love Ludwig. Ludwig is like my favorite drums. But I'm actually playing DW on that gig just because it fits the music more. And I'm playing a lot of drums. Like usually I don't need so many drums, but for me, I have like 2 toms, 2 floor toms, and 3 snares.
Sick.
Yeah, just for different songs, for different moments, and a lot of cymbals, and with Paiste cymbals were really good.
Also, on that note, this podcast, I'd say like the main overarching theme is being new, being up and coming. Do you have any pieces of advice for perhaps young drummers that maybe want to kind of take the same trajectory you're on? Anything for them?
Yeah, that's a pretty big question, because I get asked a lot, especially now since like the Charlie gig, but in general, like, how did you get the gig? How can I work? Like younger drummers. And while I actually work individually, like one-on-one with some of them, giving them like kind of mentorship, I think unfortunately, there isn't one answer or like one size fits all. Because this profession is so chaotic, I would say just follow your excitement, follow your bliss in music. Don't overthink, like don't obsess so much about getting the gig or like making it to the big stages or whatever. Just whatever is the thing that keeps you up at night, that makes you like not eat for 6 hours straight, keep doing that. And that will attract the right people. And eventually it will bring the right opportunities to you, because there isn't one path. It's pure chaos. It's very hard to deal with uncertainty in our profession. It is a difficult thing.
It's a safari for sure. Most definitely.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But what I love about your answer, and like just, I feel like, especially in the age of social media, there's so much like music advice, like everything from like content about how to record, how to play, career advice. So I like that your approach, which is very rare, is really, like you said, there isn't a one size fits all, which is true, which isn't said enough, and just kind of like following what feels right, because there's so much advice out there, and I think it can feel confusing to navigate, because it could always feel like you're doing something wrong. Like I just see a lot of that online. So it's like fun to hear kind of a more like, just do your thing, and if something is not making you happy or excited, then maybe there is something better for you. Like it doesn't have to look your career doesn't have to look my like, I really like that approach to
Exactly.
things.
Because only you are you. Right?
Yeah.
You are on your own journey. I mean, some of it is such cliches, but no one knows what's right for you except for you. That's why it's very much an internal thing. And also, it's really not just about being a better musician or having better chops. It's really about like music and life and your personality or your character, your psyche. They're not separated by any means from music and the musician that you are.
I love that. And like, was this a mindset that you had since like the beginning of your professional career, or were you really conscious of?
No.
So was it like an aha moment where you just were like, okay, this makes more sense than maybe how I've been seeing things?
It's very much a retrospective thing to say. I was like obsessed. I was just crazy out of my brain, like playing, going out to every jam session I could find, trying to meet every person who might help me or who might do. But so in that sense, maybe I'm not following my own advice, but I think I was always like following what I said, like follow the excitement, follow the bliss. It's something that I still am, but in a different way. Like I'm not like obsessed about it as I used to be maybe in my 20s. Like the follow the excitement, follow the bliss, that thing of like just hunger.
So you mean like now it's kind of mellowed out in a sense?
Yeah, I don't care about anything.
It's like that meme, it is
Jaded.
what it is. It is
No,
what
I'm
it is.
joking.
Okay.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's actually great. I'm speaking like an old man, but it's actually really nice to grow up and kind of have more clarity and a sense of choice. It's like, oh, I don't have to do this. I don't have to be so crazy about this. Like I could just chill and I could do this consciously and like with more attention. I don't know.
So to sum up everything we spoke about, I always love to ask our guests to either drop, it can be a piece of advice or just anything general you want to say to the Safari viewers. Do you have any additional things to drop to the people?
Use Safari plugins. They're the shit.
And that's the end of our programming.
They're not paying me.
That was unpaid.
Put distortion on everything.
I like that. I like that piece of advice.
Make music. Like, don't worry about. Maybe I'm saying this to myself. Like politics and like all that madness. Like I think music is like a hack or like a cheat code a little bit. It's besides the world. Like politics and ego and like arguments. It's all like this kind of energy, and then music really gives us refuge from it. It's like not a language, right? It's the language of emotions. It's like we get to express ourselves differently and take a break from all of that. And that's a really great gift to have.
I love that. Guys, make music, live, laugh, love. And that's it for today. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Avishai, thank you so much for taking the time, hopping on, dropping wisdom. It's very appreciated.
Keep my mind on a mission, cutting ties if they switching double life.